Hey everybody, this is Jeff, and I want to thank you for joining me for another edition of the Good News from Good News Gathering. If you hadn't had an opportunity to listen to last week's podcast, I would encourage you to do so because these two editions build on each other. And the issue we began grappling with last week is an uncomfortable truth. And it goes like this. As Christians, we all want to grow more and more like Christ. That's our goal in life, to follow Him. We desire to become stronger, deeper, more dedicated to developing the fruit of the Spirit, more victorious in temptation, and more effective in service and as a witness of His grace. The way we say it here at G&G is that we want to become followers of Jesus who get, grow, give, and go. We want all of this. But the uncomfortable truth is the greatest spiritual growth tends to occur in the midst of difficulty, hardships, and tough times. Adversity is often the greatest catalyst for spiritual growth. Think of the fruit of the Spirit found in Galatians 5:22 and 23. The Apostle Paul lists 9 character attributes that are byproducts of Christ's control on our lives. They include love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now think about that list. These character traits can't be developed in a vacuum. You only develop them in proximity with other people who aren't always easy to love. Some of them suck the joy right out of you. Some test your patience. Some are hard to be kind and good to. Some make you wonder why you should remain their faithful friend. Some bring out the edge in your voice rather than gentleness. Some push your buttons. But it's through testing that our character truly develops and grows strong. 2020 was a time of testing for every member of the G&G family. But to illustrate the next 2 points about adversity as a catalyst for spiritual growth, I'd like to use as an example the team that was involved in the production of Roots 16. As many of you know, Roots is our annual celebration of God's gift of music and the arts. But over the past 16 years, it has grown into a bridge event that involves our entire church family. And for those of you that may not be familiar with the term bridge event, it's simply an event that helps us create a bridge between people and Jesus Christ. Roots is one of our biggest bridge events each year. We spend almost an entire year preparing for it. From the music selection team to programming, to the worship band, graphics, lights, sound, dance, drama, stage crew, set design, set construction, food prep, cleaning crew, greeters, ushers, parking lot team, cafe, and the next gen volunteers who take care of the preschoolers. Roots takes the commitment of a large part of our church. Needless to say, 2020 tested everyone involved in the process. I remember the meeting back in late October. Roots was scheduled for early November. Music selection had begun in February and auditions began in June. But COVID had sidelined some of the folks involved in the band. COVID cases were also rising in our community. And thus we had to make a gut-wrenching decision to postpone it 2 weeks out from the date it was originally scheduled. That was a hard decision. Our people had worked hard preparing for it. They were excited about presenting the program to the church family and the public. Could we have done it in November? Yeah, probably. We probably could have pulled it off. But we would have had to do it minus valued members of our team. And that gets me to the third reason that tough times are catalysts for spiritual growth. Adversity reminds us of the critical importance of having a team around us as we walk the walk of faith. As the theme of this year's Roots put it, we're stronger together. The focus verse for this year's Roots was Proverbs 4, 9, and 12. Two are better than one. A cord of three strands is not quickly broken. And it's true. We're stronger when we have others around us living the same purpose, moving in the same direction, and encouraging us, supporting us, and holding us accountable. Scripture bears this out. One of Jesus' first acts in ministry was to gather a team around him to do life and ministry with. And any time he sent them out to spread the good news, he always sent them in twos, never alone. If the Son of God did ministry in the context of a team, surely we need a team as well. As hard as it was to tell everyone that we were postponing Roots, and believe me, there were a lot of disappointed people in the room that day, I didn't want to go forward without the entire team. Each individual has value, and the impact of the team expands exponentially because of the contribution of each individual. Roots is an annual reminder of the importance of a team because as I look at what all goes on, there's so much that I could never accomplish on my own. But God has brought together an amazing team with a broad range of talents and abilities that I don't have. And they combine their gifts with mine to produce an event that hopefully reaches people with the life-saving message of Jesus Christ. Not only is it easier for me to walk the walk of faith with the team, but my impact for Christ is magnified by the team. And when we were finally able to do Roots 2 weeks ago, we had our full team, and 1,087 people came to the services and witnessed an incredible presentation of the good news. People marvel at the number of talented people who serve at G&G. Years ago, we had a guest musician perform at Roots. When it was over, he made the comment, "I've never seen this much talent in one room without ego problems." He's right. Typically, that much talent involves a few drama kings or queens and some diva complexes. Keeping our egos in check is a matter of following Jesus, who, according to the Apostle Paul in Philippians 2, humbled himself, taking the very nature of a servant. That's why Paul warned us in Philippians 2, 3, and 4. He said, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others." You see, when we truly understand the value of the team around us, we stop competing with one another and realize that we complete one another. We are stronger together. And the fourth benefit that adversity can produce in our walk of faith is something that in leadership circles is referred to as grit. Grit is not about giftedness or talent, intellect or ability. It's not about beauty or charisma, power or prestige. Grit is about a dogged determination, a stick-to-itiveness, a willingness to put in the hard work to achieve whatever the goal may be, to overcome whatever obstacles may stand in the way, to persevere no matter what. I couldn't be more proud of the Roots 16 team, everyone who was involved in this project. When we announced the postponement last fall, it was deflating. To get that close to presenting the program only to have it put on hold was demoralizing. Some people considered stepping off the team for a variety of reasons like work and school or other commitments. But this team had grit. After the initial disappointment wore off, the team hung together. It was hard reorienting ourselves to a 4-month delay. Going back over the same program time after time was at times frustrating. It wasn't easy refocusing on something that should have already been done. But the team rolled up its collective sleeves, and went back to work. And I believe God used Route 16 in a mighty way. There's an old saying that talent counts, but hard work counts twice. I believe that. And I'm grateful that this year's Roots team had the grit to see it through to the end. Another word for grit is perseverance. James, the half-brother of Jesus, refers to perseverance in a very interesting way. In James 1:4, he writes, "Perseverance must finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." In other words, the finished product of perseverance is maturity. Adversity is an opportunity for us to become mature and complete if we hang in there and stay committed to Christ's purpose. Now, some of you may be wondering, how can I become a part of this team we call the G&G family? It begins with a commitment to Christ. And we have a baptism celebration coming up on Sunday, March 28th. If you'd like to know more about what it means to be a follower of Jesus, if you're ready to be baptized, contact the church office at 937-393-5383 and we'll get you scheduled for a baptism interview. And if you're interested in joining the G&G family and impacting our community for Christ, we have a Big Give weekend coming up on April 16th through 18th. Big Give is a weekend we've set aside to do a number of community service projects in our community. There are several different projects for a variety of skills and abilities and time allowances. I want everyone who calls G&G their church home to get involved. By working together as a team, we can bless our community with the love of God. Let's remember our theme verse from Route 16. 2 are better than 1. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. And that, friends, is good news. I love you all, and I hope to see you this weekend. We'll get together again next week for more good news.